Hey everybody, welcome to Remote Learning with Mr. Farquhar. Hope everybody's doing well today. And what we're going to take a look at is a technique called completing the square. Before we jump into that, we want to remind and go over how we square a binomial quickly. Once again, squaring, referring to the exponent of 2, and we're squaring a binomial, meaning we are squaring something, the sum or difference of two terms. So in order to do that, the first thing we are going to do is square the first term, add twice the product of both terms, and then finally square the last term. So once again, we're squaring the first term, doubling the product of these two terms, and then adding the square of the last term. And so what that would look like is x squared plus 10x plus 25. Moving on, take a moment, pause the video, and try to square that binomial. Okay, what you should have got is x squared minus 18x plus 81. Notice that because we had a minus 9 here, that we ended up getting minus 18x. And that will always, regardless if this is a plus or a minus, we're always going to get a plus here, plus that term, because a negative multiplied by a negative is positive, or a positive multiplied by a positive is always positive. All right, so now that we have that, what we want to do is learn how to complete the square. And so what we're trying to do is, if we had something like x squared plus 8x, what would we need to add to make the expression a perfect square trinomial? So what we are going to do is we are going to take half, pardon me, we're going to take half of the coefficient of the linear term, that's this one. We are going to square it and then add the result. Okay, so once again, we are going to take half of our linear term. All right, 1/2 multiplied by 8 is 4. We could also think of that as dividing by 2. We are then going to square that result, which is equal to 16. And the addition of 16 to that expression would make that thing a perfect square trinomial. Now, just to show you, now that we've already completed the square, so what I'm doing is not completing the square. But by adding that, we know that 4 times 4 is 16, and 4 plus 4 is 8. And so we would be able to express that as the quantity x plus 4 quantity squared. And so that's the idea, or why we're calling this completing the square, because once we do this, we would be able to write this as a perfect square trinomial. Okay, so we're going to do that skill on these 3 problems here. So once again, the first thing we are going to do is we are going to take half of the coefficient of our linear term, which in this case is equal to -5. We are then going to square the result, which gives us 25. And so our new expression is going to read x squared minus 10x plus 25. For number 3, we're going to take half of our linear coefficient, which in this case would be 3.5 or 7/2, and then we are going to square that result, which gives us 12.25. So the new expression would be x squared plus 7x plus 12.25. Lastly, we're taking -9, and we are going to take half of that, or divide it by 2. which is going to give us negative 4.5. And what we're now going to do is square 4.5. And that is going to give us positive 20.25, which would give us this new expression of 20.25. That's it for now, folks. Thank you.